Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will study the ESR spectroscopy. Okay, this ESR spectroscopy can also be called as EPR spectroscopy. Okay, EPR means electron paramagnetic resonance spectroscopy, while ESR is termed as electron spin resonance spectroscopy. Okay, now this ESR spectroscopy is the property of unpaired electrons or unpaired electron species. That means if the species or a molecule that is containing an unpaired electron, then that species will exhibit a ESR spectroscopy or EPR spectroscopy. Okay, if the molecule do not contain an unpaired electron, then that will do not show the ESR spectroscopy or EPR. Okay, now let's see what are the molecules that are containing an unpaired electron. The molecules like O2, while NO2, etc. These are the molecules that contain unpaired electrons. If you write the molecular orbital diagram, MO diagram of these molecules, you can see that there is a presence of unpaired electrons. Okay, so these molecules contain an unpaired electron and they can exhibit a ESR spectroscopy. Similarly, free radicals like CH3 free radicals, or if you say CPH3 free radicals, etc. Okay, or hydrogen atoms, I write here the hydrogen atoms. These are all containing the one electron here. Hydrogen containing one electron means it is an unpaired condition. And similarly, some of the transition metal ions like Cu2+, all these contains unpaired electrons. Okay, so these are the species, they can show the ESR spectroscopy, while if the molecule is containing a paired electron, then they do not show the ESR spectroscopy. Okay, now we will understand the principle of ESR spectroscopy. Principle of ESR spectroscopy. We will understand the principle of ESR spectroscopy by taking an example, that is a hydrogen atom. Okay, let us take a hydrogen atom. And we know that in case of hydrogen atom, one electron is present. Okay, if you write the box diagram, that one electron will be present here, correct? So, for this S value is half. Correct? You have one electron, S value is half. Now, MS value is equal to minus S to plus S. Okay, minus S is minus half to plus half. So, how many MS values are there? There are two MS values, correct? Because MS value is given by this formula, 2S plus 1. 2, S is half for the hydrogen atom, 1 by 2 into 1. 2 cancels, 1, sorry here plus, 1 plus 1 equal to 2. So, MS values equal to 2 value for the hydrogen, that is minus half and plus half. Okay, remember there is no 0 in between minus half and 0. If you think this is the MS value for the hydrogen, then it is wrong, because in case of hydrogen atom, MS value is 2. Okay, this is the formula to calculate the number of MS value for any species. Okay, for hydrogen it is equal to 2. So the MS value must be minus half and plus half. Okay, not this one. Okay, now in the absence of a magnetic field, this MS value will be degenerate. Okay, I represent like this. Okay, this is MS equal to plus or minus half. Okay, this is in the absence of magnetic field. Okay, there will be a degeneracy between these two MS values. But once you apply the magnetic field to this hydrogen atom, what happens that they will split. Okay, the MS values initially they are in the degenerate condition, but once you apply the magnetic field, they will split. Okay, this is in presence of magnetic field. Okay, they will split. Now, this level is having MS equal to minus half, while this level is MS equal to plus half. Okay. Now the energy of the MS level is given by, I write here, the energy of MS level is given by this formula. Okay, MS G beta H. Okay, this is the formula to calculate the energy of MS level, MS G beta H. Now using this formula to this level, what's the energy? For this, MS is equal to minus half, so the energy will be minus half G beta H. Okay, for this MS equal to plus half, the equation become plus half G beta H. Okay, this is the energy for this level, while this half G beta H is the energy for upper level. Okay, now what's the difference between these two levels? Okay, what is the difference between upper level and lower level? So what we need to do? We have to subtract this. Okay, half, I just represent delta E because we are deducing the difference between these two levels, energy difference between the levels. Okay, half G beta H minus of this one, minus half G beta H. Okay, we will get what? Half G beta H minus minus become plus half G beta H. So it become simply half plus half is 1, right? So it is G beta H. Okay, delta E is equal to G beta H. Okay, and we can write this delta E as H nu. Okay, H nu is equal to G beta H, where H is the Planck constant, nu is the frequency of the radiation. Remember, in case of ESR spectroscopy, we are using the microwave. Okay, we are using the microwave radiation. Microwave radiation for irradiation of the sample that is containing an unpaired electron. Okay, remember we are using microwave. Okay, now this nu means what? It is the frequency of the microwave radiation that we are irradiating. G is the constant. Okay, G is the constant and its value is nearly equal to 2. Okay, its value is 2 for the free electron. Okay, for the free electron, its value is 2. Actual value is around 2.0032. Okay, you can take it as equal to 2 for problem solving and all. Okay, beta is the Bohr magneton. Okay, beta is the Bohr magneton. Its value is 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24 joule per Tesla. Okay, this is the value for the beta Bohr magneton. And H means it is the strength of the magnetic field that you are applying. Okay, here you are applying the magnetic field, right? So the strength of the magnetic field is represented by H. Okay, this is the principle that is used in the ESR spectroscopy. Okay, now let us understand what is the resemblance between the ESR spectroscopy and the NMR spectroscopy. Okay, this ESR have some resemblance with that of NMR spectroscopy. Okay, in case of ESR spectroscopy, just now I told we use the microwave radiation. Okay, microwave radiation is used for irradiating the sample, while the in case of NMR we are using which radiation? Radio waves. Radio waves are utilized. Okay, in case of ESR, microwaves are used, while in case of NMR, we are using the radio waves. The next main example, the difference between these two is in case of ESR spectroscopy, we are considering the electron spin. Okay, while in case of NMR spectroscopy, we are considering a nuclear spin. That means if you consider an atom, okay, if you consider an atom, we have a nucleus, correct? This is a nucleus, and there will be an electron. The electron will be revolving around the nucleus as well as it is spinning about its own axis, correct? Now, the spin of the electron is called as electron spin. Okay, the spin of the electron is called as electron spin, while the nucleus has got a spin. Okay, even nucleus has got a spin called as nuclear spin. Okay, it is represented by I, while this is represented by S. Okay, in case of ESR spectroscopy, we are considering a spin of the electron. Okay, while in case of NMR spectroscopy, we are considering a spin of the nucleus or nuclear spin. Okay, so these are the two main differences between a ESR spectroscopy and the NMR spectroscopy. Okay, hope it is clear. In the next class, we will discuss the problems related to the ESR spectroscopy, that is the problems related to this particular equation. And remember one thing here, nu can also be called as Larmor frequency. Okay, it is called as Larmor frequency. Okay, in most of the competitive exams, this particular question is asked on based on this problem. Okay, h nu is equal to g beta h. We will see the some of the problems in the next video. Okay, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and comment if you have any doubt in this topic, and please share this video so that it helps me to grow. Thank you for watching.